Welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, and in this video we're going to be previewing day 3 of Glorious Goodwood. Before we get stuck into those selections, I just want to reflect quickly on day 2. Again, it was pretty much a shocker today. The only thing that went well for us was Masham start 14-1, making the frame, getting up the each way money there. Not too bad on that one. Elsewhere we had a few hard luck stories, and it was a really hard day for punters today. Only really one or two strong fancies went in. The gamble in the last race, Medahim, that was a big one for punters there, and also as well Little Rockefeller. But apart from that, it was definitely probably the bookmakers' day today. They had a 125-1 winner, and that horse had no form in the bag whatsoever. And there was a few other surprises like that as well. Lightning Spear came and won his first Group 1. He deserved to win a Group 1 though, so not going to mock him. But yeah, there was a few hard luck stories. I'll probably have to say my most frustrating one was Billesdon Bess for Richard Hannon and Holly Doyle. I thought was in some good positions at times, and then when it really needed to go, the gap and the door just shut, and you could definitely see it there, and I think that was quite a frustrating runner. Also as well, I thought Polish was maybe a little bit unlucky as well. He was kind of boxed in at one point, and there was quite a few others that we could go through our selections where they didn't quite get the rub of the green, and that is kind of how Goodwood works sometimes. If the gaps don't come for you, it can always be a little bit of an unlucky track. So hopefully we can put all that behind us. We've been doing well over in Galway though, so at least I do know a little bit what I'm talking about when it comes to horse racing and tips. So we've been doing alright over there. Today we had a 14-1 winner over there with Henry de Bromhead and Rachel Blackmore with Black Keys. So been doing well over there, and we've had a couple of other good days so far at the Galway Festival. So that's what's been going on there. Also tomorrow I'm going to be with BBC Radio Sussex for the second time in my career so far. You might remember last year that was probably the highlight of what I've done so far. Worked over there as a pundit on BBC Radio Sussex, covering day 3 of Glorious Goodwood. We're going again, looking forward to it. Be on the air for 4 hours, so if you want to listen to BBC Radio Sussex, if you're around that area from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock, you might hear me come on the radio a few times and tell you a few interesting stories about racing, a few tips, a few other things like that. So hopefully we can have a good day there tomorrow. Really looking forward to that, and yeah, you can see some of the photos I put up on that experience on my Twitter feed, and the place to go to follow me is at Lucky Loaders 15. That's my handle on Twitter. So enough of me waffling on. We'll get straight into the selections which you all want to see, and we're going to start off tomorrow with the 150. And I actually had the winner of this race last year with a horse called Good Omen. We're going to be going for a horse called Communique. Now this one is 5-1 with bookmakers at the moment, trained by Mark Johnston. Sylvester de Souza takes the reins. He's been riding really well. Obviously he had the winner today with Little Rockefeller. He also had a good day on the first day with Dark Vision for Mark Johnston, so they're both going pretty well. This horse won at Newmarket last time out, chasing down Sir Michael Stout horse called Zaki, which isn't a bad performer. Ran well in the Group 3, that horse did, at Royal Ascot last time out. So that was a good run by Communique, bouncing back after a couple of disappointing runs. I think they kind of try to experiment with this horse, but I think the 10 furlongs which it's going to be running over tomorrow is its trip. Sylvester's already had a couple of wins on this horse already, one at Newbury and also as well Newmarket last time out. That one was really impressive. Out of all the others, it's probably the best formed horse on paper, and I thought 5-1 tomorrow held a little bit of value. I could definitely see this one getting smashed off the boards. The other ones I thought maybe were interesting was Rock Eagle, but I thought maybe was a little bit limited in its progression and would really have to step up on what it's shown so far. So there could be some improvers that do come out of the woodwork, but for me, Communique I think is quite a likely winner of the race and is going to be my selection there. We then go to the Lily Langtry Stakes in the 225, and I'm quite sweet, and I've heard a good word for this one. Made to Remember, 11-1 with bookmakers at the moment, trained by William Haggis, who's already had a really good Glorious Goodwood so far. He had 2 winners on the first day. James Doyle takes the ride, who's been riding very well recently. This horse is a very interesting horse. It's very lightly raced. Only 2 starts last season as a 3-year-old and only 2 appearances this season, but it's been really improving, and I think there's still a lot more scope with this horse. It ran well behind Sir Michael Stout horse at Newcastle called Smart Cool last time out, and I was quite impressed by this selection that day. I think it's definitely going to take another step forward. It's going up in trip tomorrow. tomorrow, which I think will suit. It's got plenty of stamina in its pedigree. The dam stayed over a mile and 4 furlongs, so no worries there. I know, yes, it's got to find an extra 2 furlongs, but I definitely think this is a stamina horse, and I think maybe this has been a target for it ever since they got it back on the track. So for me, I thought 11-1 with a good word for this one. And I've heard William Haggis say that he really fancies this horse to have a good chance in this race tomorrow. I thought 11-1 wasn't a bad price there in the 225. We then go to the 3 o'clock, which is quite a weak renewal, I would say. A lot of exposed types here. Marie's Diamond obviously deserves to be the favourite, but I like a horse here called Neverland Rock. 7-1 with bookmakers at the moment, trained by Richard Hannon, and Frankie Dettori's booked for the ride. Obviously, he was banned for the first 2 days of Glorious Goodwood, serving out his penalty. He's going to be back tomorrow, takes the reins here on Neverland Rock. Now, the stable of Richard Hannon have got a fantastic record in this race. They've won 6 of the last 10 renewals, so definitely worth following their stable entries. And Neverland Rock has been okay so far. Ran okay on debut at Newbury, then won at Newmarket, and then finished 3rd last time behind Corto, who I've actually got a bit of an anti-post dabble on for the Guineas next year. So he ran a good race in that day, finished 3rd, and even though, yes, he was beaten 3 and a bit lengths, I think that still wasn't a bad run. And in the context of everything, I thought he was a really good each way bet tomorrow. The stable's got a good record in this, and I think it is a trappy race, but I thought you could do a lot worse if you wanted a little bit of value, and I thought 7-1 there wasn't a bad selection. It's then the feature race of the day, the 3:35, the Nassau Stakes, and I'm going with a horse here called Billesdon Brook. Now, you might remember this one, the 1,000 guineas at 66-1 earlier in the season, trained again by Richard Hannon and Tom Marquand, booked for the ride. Now, this horse followed up its 1,000 guineas run with a fair 4th at Royal Ascot behind Alpha Centauri and Threading. It ran not too badly that day, and I remember this horse actually does really well at Goodwood. It's already won twice at the track, and I was there last year, straight after I was with BBC Radio Sussex. I stayed around for the next race, and this horse went pretty much from last to first in half a furlong. It went from 1,000-1 in running to getting up and winning in literally the last stride of the race. It's one of the most strangest and bizarre races I've ever seen. And from then on, it's always been in my memory. So I did know that this horse was a capable horse. It went and did well at some listed company last year, things like that. So it's been a good horse. And really, I thought tomorrow, in the context of this race, I think it's got a fair chance. And 8-1 isn't a bad each way bet on what it's achieved so far. I know Urban Fox could be a good thing. I would probably be against Aidan O'Brien's favourite at the moment, Rhododendron. Not really my cup of tea. I think Billesdon Brook's got a good chance, and I could definitely see this one making the frame and potentially getting another win at Goodwood. So for me, at 8-1, this one isn't a bad one here. We then go to the 4:10, which is a very tricky race, but I quite like the chances here of a horse called Greenback Boogie, 12-1 with bookmakers at the moment, trained by Brian Meehan, who's a stable I really respect. I think they're a little bit of a shrewd outfit. Harry Bentley is booked for the ride. Now, this horse won at Epsom last time, went up to 7 furlongs, which I think was a really good move. It suggests it should keep at the 7 furlongs. It's got it in the pedigree, so that was definitely a good move there. But however, before that, it went to Carlisle and finished 2nd behind a horse of Brian Ellison's called the Mac and Bullet, who ran a really good race behind Sir Michael Stout horse Angel's Hideaway the other day in the Group 3 at Royal Ascot. So, not Royal Ascot, just at Ascot. So yeah, the Greenback Boogie did alright that day at Carlisle, even though it did finish 5 lengths behind. I think the step up in trip will help it, and I thought this was a weak enough race. I thought 12-1 was a fair each way bet, and you could do a lot worse. We then go to the 4:45, and again another very tricky race, but I like a horse here called Lady Cosette, 3-1 bookmakers at the moment, trained by Jeremy Nacida. William Buick booked for the ride, 6th on debut, and a fair race at Newmarket for that novice race. Also from that race, No Way Jose was there of Brian Meehan's, and that's gone and franked the form already by winning at Lingfield the other day. You might know that I tipped that one to win for the Panthers page, who I do a little bit of work for. So the form of that race has already been boosted, and I thought 3-1. Yes, I know it's favourite, but I really didn't have a strong fancy, and that would be my selection there. If you had to have a bet, we then go to the 520, the last race on the card. And I think another strongly gambled horse tomorrow could be Kick On, which is 4-1 bookmakers at the moment. 4-1 bookmakers at the moment in the colours of Paul and Claire Rooney, trained by Clive Cox. Adam Kirby takes the ride. This combination of jockey, trainer and owners had the winner in the big handicap on the weekend with Crack On, and I think this has got the same profile. It made a really good reappearance run at Windsor where it delivered on its promise as a 2-year-old, and I could definitely see this horse going well again, and I think will probably be smashed off the boards tomorrow, and I think they found a good opportunity for a win at Glorious Goodwood in the Tatler handicap. So they're going to be the 7 selections for all 7 races of Glorious Goodwood tomorrow. Like I said, follow me on Twitter at LuckyLoads15 if you want to see what's going on with my day tomorrow. Also as well, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my videos and you don't miss my day 4 Galway Festival preview. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. That's all I got to say. Please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have a good day tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.